I'm Jude Hotep, the Goddess Astrologer and Master Soul Coach. This is the Aries Full Moon happening Friday, September 29th. Let's get into the chart for this full moon. I'm going to go into sun sign horoscopes for everyone. If you haven't been here before, I'm a professional astrologer and Master Soul Coach. Really happy that you came over to Light Goddess YouTube. There is a bi-monthly astrology forecast every single month on the full moon and new moon around those times. And I do an astrology reading and an oracle card reading as well for each of the 12 signs. And I channel the astrology in this first half, part one, and go deeply into all the astrology for this time. And you will understand your sun sign horoscope so much more if you listen to this front part. This full moon is happening on Friday, September 29th, 4:57 a.m. So in the morning time. And you can see that here. Full moon is when the moon is in opposition to the sun. Sun is in Libra. We are 6 degrees into Libra season. We're newly into Libra season. Libra season this time around is going to be interesting because we're moving into this conjunction to the South Node. South Node is always where we have a lot of shadow issues going on. The two nodes of the moon, the nodes of fate, they're both emotional learning that we need to go through as humanity. So the Aries archetype and the Libra archetype. And we've been talking about this for a long time because this is really generally just up in the collective in general. Libra, all the shadow is the people pleasing and doing for everyone else instead of yourself. It can also be just very concerned with what other people think about you, aesthetics, how things look, appearances, optics, instead of actually going deeply into what's important to you and running from soul. It's very much also afraid of conflict, often conflating, what's the definition of conflict, but afraid to go ahead and stand up and speak your voice and speak what's right, state your boundaries, ask for what you need. And so that very much can be happening with this, with the Libra South Node. So the Aries archetype is very much about asking us to learn the lessons of speaking our voice, speaking up. And so that's why this full moon is called the courageous no, because what I'm seeing in the collective is everyone getting opportunities to say no, to decline, and to, instead of lying, ghosting, not being real. It's not that you owe anybody the truth, you don't. But when you are skirting and speaking your voice, that's when you know that it doesn't pay in this moment. It's not serving you. I'm all about, hey, if there's a narcissistic abuser, or if there's someone around that is hassling you or harassing you, absolutely do what you need to do, lie all you want. Like it's nobody is owed the truth. However, if you are just not telling the truth or just ghosting and avoiding, and in that avoidance because you are scared to ask for your needs to be met, they may not, but you still need to ask, otherwise they never will be, right? Or state your boundaries, or you're afraid of the conflict coming from other people who are triggered by your light and projecting all over you, causing issues, maybe just outright attacking you. Then if you're afraid of that, then you're not going to go into these situations, and you're not going to heal your Libra shadow, and you're not going to heal your Aries archetype, which is learning how to be assertive, confident, strong, and have that autonomy, have that sense of self. I belong here. I deserve to be here. I'm going to take up space. I matter, period. End of story. Don't care if you don't like it. Don't care what you think. And it doesn't mean that you have to be aggressive, but when you haven't been assertive up to a new level of assertiveness, that may feel like aggressiveness to you, when really you're just being assertive. It's just something you haven't experienced before. And the pendulum may swing. When you're trying to step into more confidence and more assertiveness, the pendulum swings, and sometimes you have to go to the extremes of aggression or arrogance until you feel what that feels like. We only learn experientially. We don't actually learn by thinking it all. And that's the thing about this Libra South Node, is that's very thinky. It's activated all of our minds heavily. It may make emotions harder to access. And so don't forget the energetic work, the energetic piece of the puzzle of doing energy work and making sure you're getting your energetic field clear and going in and doing that daily. So this Libra season is this sun moving towards a conjunction with the South Node. Of course, the South Node moves backwards, so it's moving towards the sun. And so we're going to have this Sun South Node conjunction. So this Libra season is this sun applying into this conjunction to the South Node, and then it will be separating and moving off, which will be a nice integration. But right now we're in the thick of it. And then Mars is making this conjunction to the South Node here. And I really wish I had better colors on here. These colors suck. All right. Mars is moving towards this applying connection to the South Node as well. And this opposition to the North Node. And so Mars is getting a lot of data right now and has this opportunity to act upon the resolution and healing of the Libra shadow. And this is all happening at the time of this full moon. A full moon, again, is that opposition to the sun. So the moon is peeking out on Friday morning. And so leading up to this full moon, you may feel that balsamic period of purging, tears, difficulty, things coming up from your past, all of your wounds coming up, all of your triggers, all your buttons being pushed. And again, it's around that Aries archetype and the Libra shadow. It's around that archetype. So really digging into that's going to be super important. At the time of this full moon, Venus is conjunct Juno, and they're exactly conjunct. It's really important. Venus is our inner desires. It's our deep inner desires. It's also relationships and money. And it's been retrograde all summer, and now it's still in shadow retrograde until October 6th. And it's conjunct Juno. Juno is all about how we relate in relationships, and it's about relationships. So there's so much up in this full moon with this Libra Aries dynamic, which is all about relationships. Libra is about relationships, right? And it's about relating. How do we relate? Do we relate dysfunctionally in maladaptive responses due to abuse or trauma, or triggers, and we're not healing our stuff and going in? Or are you on the journey and you still got triggers, but you're just going as fast on the journey as you can go, but you are facing your triggers and you are healing them, but you're seeing them come up, and that's causing issues because it can. Are you speaking your voice and now dealing with being rebuked and the alienation and the accusing and all of the issues that people have when you speak your voice? When you're a strong woman in this world, a lot of people have an issue with that, and they come after you. And I experience it all the time. And if you are a woman standing up in your power, you're probably experiencing that. And so, dealing with that maybe newly for the first time, not realizing that would be a part of it. It's like, I'm doing this right thing for myself. I'm speaking my voice. I'm doing this great thing for women and for myself. And yet this horrible crap is happening all around me. It can be very challenging. And also note that this full moon is moving towards Chiron and Eris, this asteroid, all about female community, all about, having taken revenge, realizing they're just becoming just like them, and then moving towards bringing the light and being this fierce, powerful, courageous, feminine force in the world. And Chiron, of course, the wounded healer and the centaur. So between worlds, half horse, half human. And so between worlds, able to, go into all of the darkest places in our wounds. And it's an Aries all around our autonomy, where we haven't had autonomy, where we've been suppressed, where we've been people pleasing, where we've been twisting ourselves into a pretzel to fit in. How much of your life have you been trying to fit in and change yourself to do so, or quiet yourself, shrink yourself? And how much of your life have you actually embraced the unique individual that you are? And think about that, because it's so, so important. Venus has this square to Uranus, all about individuating. And this is just a very powerful full moon with a really important lessons in these archetypes. Uranus being in Taurus is about sufficiency. It's about self-reliance, coming from your own value system out. It's about relying upon yourself and moving out into the world. And so meaning that do you run to a friend or run to a partner every time something goes wrong? Do you always have somebody there? Do you always talk to somebody? Do you ever go in? Taurus is a yin feminine sign. Do you ever go in and find the resourcefulness within you to address and to feel and to be with what is there? And this is a square, so this is pushing on us and bringing opportunities that are challenges to grow in this way, to grow in our own valuing of ourselves, so we stand up in our autonomy and stop twisting ourselves into pretzels to please other people, and stop being anything but our unique self, no matter what comes from that and the rebuking from others. This long running square to Pluto to the nodes has been going on all year and is continuing the rest of the year, and is very much Pluto about evolution. So how are we evolving? And it's all about this Aries Libra dynamic. And, Aries is very much also about, our ego, our personality, our identity. Like, what identities have you taken on? Are you a creator? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a powerful woman? Like, what identities do you have? I've heard a lot of women talking about the identities of single mother, of just basically these different identities where it underneath it's impoverished in some way, or it's a victim in some way. It's disempowered. And so are the identities you have that you are currently operating in, are they disempowered or empowered? And I would start seeing if you can maybe start shedding some skins of old identities that just aren't empowered identities. They're not going to serve you. They're not going to move you forward in life. And understanding that Saturn is at this 1 degree retrograde of Pisces. And so society in Pisces, Saturn, or also our inner authority. Pisces can blend everything out. It can dissolve everything. And just kind of water everything down. Also, it's lots of emotions and energy. And it's, got this trine to Mars, where Mars is learning all about these issues that we're going through. And are we kind of looking at them? Are you using your triggers as doorways to see where to do the inner work at this moment? And the inner work never stops. We're going to be on this journey for a long time, because humanity has 6,500 plus years of past lives of killing and murder and death, and, sex crimes and trespasses of soul and horrible things that we've gone through and done, that we are healing from. And we must heal the deep stuff in our subconscious if we're going to ever evolve as a species, because our subconscious creates reality. So much of humanity is under all of these programmings, and the other little percentage of humanity is the narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths. And then there's the rest of us that are awake, evolving, trying, doing the inner work somewhere on that spectrum of like wanting to, realizing you need to, or deeply in it, or really having healed so much that you're triggered less and less and less, and you're just really standing in your power more and more and more. So where are you at in that spectrum? Where do you fall? There's some real beauty with this full moon. So again, realize that leading up to a full, I was talking about the balsamic phase, and the balsamic phase is before the new moon. So my error, I don't know what I was saying. But what I was thinking was it's very balsamic, like moving to a full moon, because it's very much can be purging everything that is not part of the plan, not part of your journey coming up. The full moon is a peeking out of the energy. It's this full illumination, and full moons are very intense. There's an intensity. That's why there's always like people who drive ambulances, police, first responders. A lot of people are very aware when full moon happens and keep track of it, because you have a lot of energy out on the street and a lot more happening. People are their emotions are intensified, their reactions and responses are intensified, things heat up. It's bringing everything to this illumination. It's bringing a culmination as well, because then the light is going to start to wane off. And so it is a culmination. And so really understanding that this time the moon, talked to Neptune, talked to Saturn, talked to Pluto, Saturn, and then Neptune, and got a lot of information before it hit this full moon. It's, applying to Chiron and Erisina and the North Node, that all have this opposition to Mars and Libra conjunct the South Node. And so very much And Erisina is exactly conjunct, the North Node and opposite the South Node. Erisina, all about women standing in their power to bring the light, not waging revenge. When you feel blame or you feel revenge or you feel all these things, it's normal, it's okay, and it's a phase in the healing journey. But at some point, we need to come out of that phase. And we also, when we're in that phase, need to A, not emote it all out into the world, but B, get supported, get coaching, do what you need to do for yourself to heal it, because it can be healed and it is a phase, and to let it be okay. Don't judge yourself. If you are a coach, don't victim blame and shame your clients and your people. If you're a healer, coach, astrologer, etc., don't victim blame and shame your people. That's absolutely horrible bedside manner. It is not a push button thing that you just flip a switch and boom. No, victimhood is very challenging to heal. Don't put down your people for being in the blame phase if they're blaming, and yes, it's a disempowerment, but sometimes blaming for a little while often actually is a reclamation of power. And then of course we need to move from that phase. So help your people move from that phase to the next, or understand the length of time that's necessary for them to be in it, and let it be okay. And we need to bring true insight and skill to this world with ourselves as healers, as leaders, as people who other people are coming to for support and to help. We really need to come to it with a lot of skill and learning. I don't care if you've been in it 20 years, 40 years, whatever, you're not done. Don't get jaded. Actually keep learning and growing and evolving, because what's in the zeitgeist, what's in the morphogenic field constantly is expanding and moving and growing as more is being downloaded from the quantum field that we're integrating as humanity, and consciousness is expanding and intelligence is increasing, and so many people are awakening, and so much is occurring. So realize that people are waking up all over the planet who are realizing PTSD is not just a thing of soldiers and people in the military. It's not just that, it's really in the zeitgeist now that most humanity has trauma from just simply this culture where it is a habituation to abuse, where it has normalized abuse, and also that people are waking up everywhere and realizing healing techniques and somatic techniques, and this is getting really in the zeitgeist, which is so powerful and profound. This full moon is widely so much about relationships. It's bringing up all that relationship drama and trauma so that we can move into functional instead of dysfunctional relationships, where we have partnerships that are built on equality and people are doing their inner work, owning their triggers, owning their own shit, doing their own inner work instead of blaming it on everybody else. Where people who are blaming everyone else or not doing the inner work or don't know they can, it's all coming to the surface, it's all coming to the light, it's being shown, because this full moon is illuminating this relationship dynamic. And then we have all of this Mars here. Mars is cutting away. Mars cuts away. It's cutting away from the past life shadow. And so we have this opportunity to see it, the full illumination. It's been culminating for a week and a half now, 2 weeks, and we've been able to see it all. It's coming out in full force. You really can see everybody's true colors. The secrets are coming to the fore. And then on top of that, Mars then cuts away from all of the old wounds and the dysfunctional relationships, the dysfunctional behavior, the maladaptive responses and reactions that just don't serve us and don't help us, all of the ways we're thinking, Libra, that no longer are allowing us to feel the experience of life we really have, and then to act from that place. You have to remember, thoughts create feelings, feelings drive actions. So all of these thoughts, are they creating emotions that you want to experience as your experience of life? Because emotions are your experience of life, they're energy, and your emotions will drive behavior. So hope, you think hope's so great. I mean, if you are really down low, maybe hope is okay, but I really encourage highly to never use hope as a motivating emotion. Hope will make you go to a 7 a.m. networking meeting when you are not a morning person, just because you're hoping to get that client. And then you're up, and then you don't have enough sleep, you're grumpy, you're not really on, and you don't make any connections anyways, right? And so it's like hope will make a woman get an abortion because she hopes the guy will stay with her, it's like, and then it's like the self-betrayal, and then all of the fallout from having an abortion she didn't want to have, like the like hope will drive you to do things that are not in your best interest, that do not serve you, that you do not want to actually be doing, hoping that you'll get this outcome. So hope will cause you to self-betray. It's really important to understand what thoughts, what emotions thoughts actually create for you. So try thoughts on like a hat, put them on and feel what emotion is in your body. Is it creating an emotion that I want to be creating and acting from? Is it creating self-doubt, or is it creating confidence? So try on your thoughts like hats, like experiment with thoughts and understand that they create emotions. Very, very powerful. So Venus has these trines to this whole Aries stellium, and Venus in integration of all that Leo retrograde period that we had. And so everything about relationships and money, and the Leo, which is creative self-actualization, it's taking your will and creating your destiny. And so that's what this retrograde was all about with Venus, is your deep desires to feel special, to have your special destiny that you're meant for, and to align that to something that's for this higher importance, and to take your own will to create it, to get out of this victimhood, to get out of this disempowerment, and to know that you are capable and that you can, and start moving forward. So we're integrating all of this now. And this is so much in relationships, because relationships often enable us. Most people are not necessarily pushed by life to really find out their own resourcefulness and to grow, because they have relationships around them that enable them to stay in the same old stuck patterns, the same old relationship dynamic patterns, and to stay stuck and stay small and stay shrinking, because everyone is letting it be okay. A perfect example is with somebody that I was going to meet, and they just couldn't speak their no, and they asked a question instead of just saying directly, hey, I can't do this after all, I'll meet up with you guys another time. Really simple. No. No, I can't. Gosh, I thought I could. Things change. I didn't freaking understand my schedule, but can't do it. And so because of that, like asking a question, it's a form of manipulation. It's a form of putting a psychic hook out there. And it may not be malicious, but it's still manipulation, and it's still not owning your power, and still not speaking your voice. And how will you ever do that if the people around you are just like reading between your lines, instead of actually like requesting that you have an actual no or yes? Yes, like we are moving into this intuitive, emotional people. But if you get away with never owning your yes and no, with never owning your own voice, with never stating your boundaries, with never asking for your needs, because the people around you always read between your lines, and you have this dysfunctional dynamic, you're just enabling each other to stay in that shit, then how will you ever grow? I mean, as much as it has been a challenge, I have been forced to do so in my life because of my makeup and my chart, what my soul wanted to do. And I'll tell you, I'm so glad that I've had to go through that. I'm so glad, because I wouldn't want to not be a woman who speaks her voice in this world. I would not want to be a disempowered woman. And all of my work is about women being empowered in this world, making money and making the big impact in this world that you're here to make. So I'm going to leave it at that for this forecast. And let me move into something else. And I'm going to do the sun sign horoscopes for all signs. And let's get this going. All right, I'll share the screen with you and pull cards. So this is part 2. Typically I go for about an hour in part 1, usually, but I just, we're so close to the full moon and I don't want to, so I'm not. Okay, I need to share the right screen. That'd be great. Okay, there we go. And that's another thing about Aries. You know, here's some examples. As my family, just this side of my family, just full of, you know, dysfunctional issues and stuff. And they, why is this not working? There we go. Okay. Maybe this will work. There we go. Okay. And we'd go out to eat, and they would, you know, admonish me or have something to say about me asking for extra cheese. And that, you know, the waitress would come back. I would tell her before she left, when I asked for extra cheese, I'd say, can you bring me a big bowl of extra cheese? And she'd go and she'd come back with a little ramekin. So not only did I want extra cheese, but I asked her for the exact amount, and I was very clear and direct. And I said, you know, she'd come back with the ramekin, and I'd just be like, you know, like, I asked for what I wanted to begin with, and I was very clear, because I know that you're just going to bring back a ramekin. And so then I would say to her, I asked you for a bowl. I really want a bowl. Can you make sure it's like one of those little bowl, and explain and kind of break it down for her, because she obviously wasn't getting it. And it's like, nope, and she's like, oh, I have to charge you. Yeah, well, charge me. Great, good. We're on the same page. I want that cheese. Can you get that out to me? I'm trying to eat my salad here. And so, you know, and they would just give me this hard time for speaking for asking for what I want and need in life. So here I am. Not only does a woman have a mountain to climb to ask for what she wants and needs. This is actually so important. I'm gonna talk about this before we move into sun sign horoscopes, because I think this will help so many women out there. But not only do women typically have a big mountain to climb just to get to the place where they are asking for what they want and need, but then people around me admonishing me and rebuking me and having anything to say like it's their fucking business. I don't care if I'm sitting at a meal with you. It's not your fucking business what I'm wearing, what I'm doing. I don't care who you are. I'm ordering food here. It's nothing to do with you. It's my food. So like, it's just so inane. And this is what people do. People are always trying to tell you who to be, how to be, what to be, and what to do, particularly as a woman, and particularly men to women. Do not let this happen to you. Speak your voice, stand up for what you need. It is okay to have whatever needs you have and wants you have, and it's okay to ask for what you want. It's okay to tell what your boundaries are. No, thank you, go away. I tell people to go away all the time. Weirdo men. And I try it. And now I just try to do it. I do it with my energy, and they don't even come up anymore. But sometimes you can't always like get every single one sometimes. And they're in your field and so forth, or you're just tired, you know, because it's so many. But, you know, I tell people, go away, you're not for me. We're not a vibe match. I don't want you. You know, I just say whatever. I don't even like, and here's the thing, you have to stop feeling guilty. This is the other piece. This is so important. The shadow Virgo is feeling guilty because there's masochism in the culture. The culture is built upon guilt and atonement. And it is betting on you to feel guilty so that you won't stand up for yourself. So just know that not only when you stand up for yourself, will you have other people rebuking you, and you have to deal with the fallout of that until you get better at it, until you just are owning your power. And it starts to stop and decrease. And you also just get inoculated to it. You just don't even care anymore. Like, yeah, whatever. I don't care what you want me to be, a submissive little woman. I had this guy the other day, like being like, you're not nice. You're not nice. That's all he kept saying is, you're not nice. Like, I was like, I don't have to be. What do you want me to be? You want me to be nice, like a little good girl for you? Like, really, like we have to stand up as women. So this gets easier and easier for other women. So not only will you deal with the rebuking from outside, but internally you will have guilt probably, and you will deal with that. Pattern interrupt that shit. Don't let that shit be in your psyche consciousness. Make sure you pattern interrupt any guilt that you notice, because when you do that, you will be leaping forward, quantum leaps forward. I guarantee you. I do this work in one-to-one coaching. If you want to finally change this shit, I'll tell you, I can help you. I help women transform this shit, and I help women do it rapidly. It is not, does not take years, and it is a very quick process when you start to use my very effective methods and techniques that I developed, because I had to figure it out for myself. I developed these things because I was trying to find my own answers and solutions, and I did not want to sit here and be doing cognitive behavior therapy and talking it out and processing it forever when nothing ever changed. And I did not want to be doing all of these like helpful modalities that are supportive, and it was good, nice to have somebody there, but they didn't fucking do anything. I wanted real change. And so that's what led me to develop my methods and techniques that I use to help women get this real change in their lives. And if you've been thinking about coaching, go to empoweredwomenrise.com and you can see my testimonials there and find out more information. And you can book a discovery call with me. I have very limited spots, and usually I have a waiting list. So, but we're going to get into the sun sign horoscopes, y'all. Let's do this. I wanted to share that with you. There's one more thing I wanted to share with you that I think will really help some of you too. What is it? Ugh, I'm forgetting. What is it? Oh, okay. This is what it is. So the other thing to be aware of what's going on is women who are not healed enough, or not evolved, or not awake, or just haven't had it pop yet, that like, oh, I'm just, having the patriarchy internalized and I'm perpetuating it, etc. They haven't woke up yet. Again, give everybody the dignity of their own timeline. Like we just have to be aware that it takes what it takes for people to wake up. But anyways, women are often like rebuking other women, or telling them to just be okay with men who are yucky, because of their issues, their insecurities, their beliefs, because of that internalized programming and that indoctrination of the patriarchy, etc. I had a woman I went out for tacos with, thought she was a cool ass chick. She's like a yoga teacher and stuff. Come to find out, like we're sitting there talking, and this guy in class kept trying to talk to me. First of all, he's like staring at my body in yoga class. Can I just go to yoga class, please? And I gave him the energy of no. Then he kept doing it. So then I gave him the dirty look of like, hell no. And finally he stopped looking at me. But it's just, I have to deal with this in my class. Then like later he comes up and talks to me, makes conversation, which was just a false front for actually just talking to me. And I just made it very clear, like, I'm not interested. He tried to shake my hand. I didn't shake his hand. So this is a perfect example. I want to be an example to you all. You don't owe anybody to shake their hand. You don't have to be nice. You don't have to be a good little girl. Stop that shit, actually, and just be a powerful woman in this world. Stand up for yourself. I'm a psychic. I read energy. His energy was fucked. It was off. It was patriarchal. It was yucky. I did not want anything to do with him. On top of which, he was staring at me in yoga class. Don't fucking stare at my body. It's in a strip club. Absolutely not. So I'm telling you, you have to stand up for yourself. And this yoga teacher, we went out for tacos, and she's like telling me, like, I think he's nice. I just think he just want to talk to you. I know, I'm aware. First of all, he disrespected my boundaries with staring at my body. Second of all, he's objectifying my body. So obviously he's a a womanizer, and a man who's misogynist and objectifies women's body and only values women for their body, and has got all that programming internalized. So it's a no. Big giant no, just from very first and tiny interaction in the yoga class. And then he doesn't even pick up any of my cues, all very blaring and clear. A dirty look is a very clear cue, and then comes and talks to me more, and then he gives me a false front for why he's even talking to me. So he's completely inauthentic and a liar, and isn't real. Not that it matters. I'm psychic and I read energy, so he can't get over on me. And I tell him to go away. I don't shake his hand as he tries to shake his hand. I have told people that will try to shake my hand or interact with me, and I've read their energy, and I'm like, nope. And I'm like, not interested. Nope, go away. I don't want to talk to you. I just tell him that. There's so many of you, you're afraid to do that. You are afraid to do that. You're afraid that you're not going to be polite. You're afraid that they're going to get mad. You're afraid that somebody is going to hurt you or something, because it's past life terror. This is what I help women heal. This is what I help women heal. And I want to be an example to you. Do not take that shit. That's how you get yourself abused. That's how you get yourself in relationships with narcissists and people with damaged egos that are manipulators. That is how you let people get over on you. Stop doing that shit. And I hope the women that are out there admonishing other women for the mountain that they climb to get to this place where I can actually speak my courageous no and be very clear about who I am and who's not for me, and do not give men or anybody, women, whoever, access to me that don't deserve and that I just simply don't want to have access to me. The mountain that I had to climb to get to this place in my life right now, and for her to be upset by that, you know, like, wow, like, just so not okay. So we're dealing with all these different things, and if you want to finally like stand up for yourself and stop accepting this stuff, I'm telling you, I help change people's lives. All right, y'all. So let's get in these sun sign horoscopes. I hope that's really inspiring and encouraging to you. I don't tolerate shit. I have a zero tolerance policy on patriarchy, on damaged egos, on manipulators, on abusers, on narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, on anybody that, you know, and here's the thing, it's like she just didn't get in her brain, because she has the programming internalized, that actually I get to choose who has access to me. It's my choice. It's my choice. And here's the thing, women like that let men just have sex with them because they think they have to. And it's very subliminal and very subconscious. So they're having sex all the time with people they don't want to have sex with, because they don't even know they're doing it, because it's so ingrained that they're supposed to demur and allow people to have access to them and be nice and be polite and all of this outrageous, you know, be the good girl, all of these things. So we are deprogramming this in the collective. This is huge what we are doing. All right, let's get into this reading. So Aries, and again, if you have not listened to the first part, you will understand so much more your personal reading if you do this. And then lastly, your sun is the solar chart. It's really good information. Your rising is your natal chart. It's your natal chart. Combine them together and you'll get a really good understanding of what's happening for you at this full moon. All right, let's do this. So Aries. Full moon in Aries in your first house, all about identity, ego, personality. How do you deal with threat, and what do you deal with threat? You know, Aries, if it's your natal, you know, if it's your rising, you might be very aggressive or emotional or intense with what you perceive to be as threat, etc. Nothing's right, wrong, good, or bad, but knowing that is really helpful. If this is your sun, you know, it depends on what your rising is, but you know, your sun is who you're becoming. So anyways, this is what this is all about, though. Regardless of what it is, you have this stack of this North Node and Erisina conjunct Chiron, and then the full moon here in the first house. And it's this also a new beginning. First house is always a new beginning. It's a starting off. It's very much moving towards a new cycle. And it's very much this yang energy of taking action, of being expressive, of being very clear, having crystal clear clarity about your no and your yes, who you are not. What identities have you taken on? What identities do you want to shed that no longer serve you? You know, this is coming out of a time where there is been all of this relationship drama brought up to the surface. And so we've seen so very much, and seeing all of this has helped us to know, and it's helping you, Aries, to really understand the relationships that are valuing you and the relationships that are not valuing you. What relationships allow you to speak your voice and that for that to be okay, or what relationships are admonishing you for that, or telling you to shrink, telling you to be quiet, telling you to just accept, you know, abuse or people you don't want around you. And what relationships are you allowing in your life? Are you standing in taking the power of your willpower to create the destiny that you want for yourself in this life? Sun in Libra in the 7th house, all about relationships and relating. Moon, Mars in South Node here, cutting away from old relationship patterns, from possible relationships themselves, from how you relate to life, to your business, to money. Venus here and the 5th house of where you stand on stage, of bringing your gifts in the world. How do you relate to bringing your gifts to the world? Mars is giving you this opportunity to cut away from all the shadows that's standing in the way of you actually being more visible in this world, speaking your voice more in this world. And you have Pluto in the 10th, all about this evolution of your identity and taking up space in the world, and what's your role in the larger whole of the world? What role are you playing in society and in in the culture and the paradigm? So much here, Aries, going on for you. Let's go into your card reading, Aries. Actually, I want to really Creator Air, give up the thoughts, give up the thinking. This could be very much that you're not managing your mind and doing the thought work. Every human needs thought work, and every human has to do pen to paper thought work. You can listen to the Light Goddess podcast, links below, for so much free content around how you manage your thoughts and get your brain to think thoughts on purpose that create the life that you want to create. And this isn't woo-woo bullshit. This is like really real techniques that work. Also, you can go to the Light Goddess Facebook group. I have 36 hours of free masterclass content where I've taught so much about this. But whatever you do, make sure you're not allowing your brain to run away with you and to drive the show. Is your soul higher self driving the bus? Also, it's like, are you creating your life on purpose with the thoughts you think? Are you allowing the amazing thoughts coming through to download to create content in your business? Cut the cords of doubt. Where is the doubt? What is the doubt is about? It's not in protection message. That's great. So what is the doubt about, Aries? Is it deep subconscious past life fear and doubt? If so, then you have to do the subconscious work. That's the work I do with women. If it is just in your, if it's emotions, we got to release emotions and kind of unpack that stuff. What is the self-doubt about? Like, you have to make something beautiful in this world and realize the doubt is about psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists. Those are the ones that have the Hollywood bullshit, the hierarchy, the red carpet, the better, best, greatest than. There is no such thing. That is all construct. It is made up. It is bullshit. The only thing there is your individual greatness. And Aries is all about helping the underdog. Aries is the believer of the zodiac. It's a unicorn. It just believes, and it just is like, hey, let's start something. Let's go. So you've got to really get real with that doubt, question it, and say, oh no. And then you got, make a mission statement for your soul. It's in a protection message. And so it's asking, are you coming from soul? Are you dimming and hiding your light? Why are you hiding? Because of the self-doubt. And why is there so much self-doubt there? Because you're letting your mind just spin and run away with you and believing all those thoughts. Thoughts are just sentences in your mind. They're not true. Stop believing all those crappy thoughts. And so really get into this, Aries. I'm sending you so much love. If you'd like to book Pick Your Price astrology reading with me, this is the last weeks for the Pick Your Price astrology reading. So I'm not going to be having that anymore. I'm going to be doing away with the Pick Your Price astrology reading. Been doing that all summer long. It's been an amazing sale going on. So many people have booked an astrology reading, and I don't want to I don't want women to be separated from it just because of money. So this is your last opportunity to go to empoweredwomenrise.com and book a Pick Your Price astrology reading. So you can pick a price between $100 and $325. And my normal price. And this is the last opportunity to get in on that. Sending you so much love, Aries. Talk to you next time. Taurus, we're going to be getting to you. Taurus, full moon happening in the 12th, opposite the sun in the 6th. all about the deep subconscious dynamics, past life stuff. With the full moon here, it could be illuminating a lot of things that are churning up from the past life issues that want to be healed and are rising for good. However, it can be stressful and can be challenging and difficult. So be aware of that. Nothing's gone wrong here. It just is churning up things to heal. It's bringing the full light of the moon on it, the full light of consciousness then, therefore. And it's doing that on purpose so that the relationships can be better and you can relate from this place of a healed whole self rather than from the wounds or the traumas or the issues, and realize that this allows you to create the tangible world, sixth house, the way that you desire to do it. That Venus and Leo, taking your will to create your special destiny, to create your purpose in this world and what you want to do. Your Pluto is in the 9th, all about being an expert and standing on stage, and square the nodes, this long running T-square here, and wanting to grow in these archetypes, speaking your voice. Are you speaking your voice? Are you speaking up, Taurus? Are you being very bold? Are you being assertive and stepping into new levels of assertiveness, new levels of confidence? Remember that that can feel like arrogance, that can feel like aggression when you haven't done it before. But don't let that make you stop. Just experiment and see where and integrate your new level of assertiveness and confidence. With Venus and Juno in the 4th, raising concerns, raising up a lot of information around the relationships of where you're building that inner sense of security, inner sense of emotional security. So all of these relationship dynamics are coming up and popping up, giving you the opportunity to heal where you were not secure internally, where you were relying upon externals or relationships to be secure. Instead, this is saying, hey, you have to be secure from the inside out. And very much this Mars is cutting away from old past life stuff around day-to-day life, around the lifestyle that you want to live. So it's bringing up issues around that, and it's giving you this opportunity to cut away from the old patterns that no longer are serving you, or that you are done with and really would love to move out of. So great opportunity, really dig into this. Always recommend ceremony, of course. You've got creator water, all about emotions. Are you feeling your emotions, Taurus? There could be that inclination for everyone with this Libra South Node to think your emotions and intellectualize them and examine them from a distance, but not actually feel. We are socialized and have been brought up not to feel and not to go into emotions. Emotions are evolution. You do not evolve and actually get the lessons from all the shit and the pain you've been through unless you feel the emotions. So I encourage you, don't push and suppress and be resistant to feeling, because then you won't get the evolution of having gone through all of that to begin with. And I'm telling you, emotions bring you so much empowerment. What is it? So think about empowerment. Sometimes that word, I feel like can have no real no real punctuation to it. It's overused a little bit at this point, but if you think about, the opposite is disempowerment and victimhood. So if you're empowered, you're capable, you're strong, you're powerful, you're not triggered, you're not it doesn't matter what other people do, you're not swayed by other people, you're strong like a board in your inner being, that 4th house with the Venus and Juno there, of who you are, and you are powerful in this world. And so emotions are how we also use our psychic gifts. Emotions are also how we create. We create by creating that experience in our own body and our own psyche first, and then we create it in the world. So it's very important to work with emotions. I mean, for nothing else, because you want to manifest fierce serenity and a protection message, Taurus. So it's saying that there's something that is very problematic inside that doesn't feel good, that's just bothering you. There's some sort of issue there. And it's also saying that you're not protecting what brings you a sense of groundedness and a sense of security within, and that you have to fiercely guard and protect whatever that is, whether it's like getting a bath or time in nature or having a certain amount of money saved, or whatever it is for you that allows you to feel the sense of like you're taking care of yourself, like you are fully resourced as a woman because you're consciously putting these efforts in place. There's something here like a block, maybe energetic clearing could be really good. And your last card is light in the unexpected. So make sure you're looking for the cracks of light in the challenging moments or in the difficult situations. The thing about the Libra South Node is a lot of people like want to placate and say like, oh, it's not the highest level of being spiritual, of not loving the narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths, and the abusers and all of that. And it's just like, oh my God, people, you can't be Neptunian if you haven't even done Earth yet. Like, let's get Earth down first, and then like maybe like shoot up to Neptune. But like these high spiritualized ideas, they're there for a reason. And they're so important. However, we have to master the other baby stuff first. And like most of humanity is not really that mature. We haven't really mastered like the basics. So like when we stop people pleasing, then we can go up to that higher level. I mean, you can have love for somebody at a distance, or you can have love for humanity, but we have to, we have to really get clear on that. Yes, dark and light, shadow and light is resolving halves of the whole. And also it doesn't mean you let yourself get abused or let people have access to you that are not whatever. They're not evolved, they're not awake, they're perpetuating the patriarchy, they're in the dominator model of existence, and they're just not on your wave. So all of the places where you are like so seeing only the dark and seeing only the bad and seeing all the woes and the sorrows of the world, you got to come out of that. You have to look for the light. You got to make a list of all the amazing people doing amazing things, cleaning up the oceans, making new healthcare for the people by the people. You have to look for all of the amazing people doing good and surround yourself with that. How much of that are you putting into your life? Or are you surrounding yourself with the old paradigm people and situations and circumstances? You got to surround yourself with the people that of the new paradigm that are doing the amazing work, that are bringing their light, that are standing in their power. And you got to look for all the good and believe in it yourself. You have to realize that you get to live in the world of the 5D, of everything being amazing. You don't want to be eyes closed to all the other stuff going on in the world. And what I find personally is it takes a little bit of time to integrate it and to get back to my happy self whenever I have to go down a couple of rabbit holes every now and then again to make sure I'm eyes open about all these things going on in the world. And that's okay. And it takes time to integrate that. And it's okay to have that little bit of depression going on and just realize it's not forever. You're in this integration, you're integrating really heavy things, and it can work like that. It's the ascension highs and lows, and, trying to take the veils off, taking the veils off. It can be just hard, and it can be a lot, and it can be a lot of heavy stuff. So realize that it's temporary, and make sure to look for the light, chant, put on chanting, do sound baths, get around high vibrational circumstances and people, put comedy into your field, funny movies, funny books, etc. Make sure you're bringing a lot of light and joy in. All right, Taurus, sending you so much love. If you'd like to book an astrology reading, I still have the pick your price astrology reading happening for a couple more weeks, and that's it. And so if you've been wanting to get an astrology reading and you haven't done it yet at these prices, I'd really encourage you to book that now while you can. You can go to empoweredwomenrise.com. Sending you lots of love. Talk to you next time, Taurus. Let's do this, Gemini. Gemini, this full moon for you is happening in your 11th house, all about really understanding how you fit in with other people, really forming amazing relationships. The 11th house is about impersonal relationships, our friendships, our groups, collaborations, it's community building, it's, you know, higher consciousness connection to the quantum field and all of that. And it's bringing our gifts to people, but it's also where things go down and relationship dramas go down, because it is getting very clear about being like coming from a place of self-sufficiency, coming from a place of inner security. It's about everything, you know, from all of the signs to here, excuse me, about integrating all of those skills of each sign is a skill set. It's an area of life to master. And so by the time you get to the 11th house, it's saying like, you know, now it's time to master that with people. Where are you at with that? And so this full moon is illuminating everything about your groups, your audience building, collaborations, friendships that needs to be healed, improved, where you're not standing in your autonomy, where maybe you are too little, you know, too pendulum swung in one extreme or the other, not assertive enough, or a little too aggressive, and kind of learning. And it's okay to be in that learning. It's all right. Pluto in your 8th house of deep transmutation of all of the limitations that are not allowing you to stand as an autonomous being, a sovereign being within your relationship, strong in the world, and sovereign being within the whole of humanity. Friendships, collaborations, and your audience is showing up in that way, being powerful in this world. This Juno and Venus in your 3rd house of your mindset and how you think about things. What's going on for you in your local environment? Are you building community in your local environment, partnerships? How are things there? Are you creatively self-actualizing when it comes to your perspectives? Like, are you, you know, really the one in your mind being in the driver's seat, or are you letting your mind take you away? And very much the Sun, Mars, South Node, all in this 5th house of, again, creative self-actualization, taking your will and creating your destiny, making your dreams come true, making your goals happen, your projects, stepping into greater visibility, bringing your gifts to the world, etc. This is what this is. This can also be children and romance. And so Mars is cutting away from the old shadow dynamics, that Libra South Node there, and saying like, we don't want to do those old patterns anymore. We don't want to do the way that we've been doing it with that long running Pluto T square to the nodes. We're learning these dynamics and healing all of those things. Again, just remember that if you watch the first half, part 1 of the channeled astrology, then you will understand your reading here all the more deeply. All right, Gemini, let's pull you some cards. This card came flying out. Creator air. Definitely a lot of mind activation with this Libra South Node, and then you're an air sign in general. So and so you have that air in your chart, you know, whether it's sun or rising. And so are you managing your mind? All humans need to manage your mind. This is what I teach everywhere in Light Goddess. Go to the podcast for free and learn, and make sure you're not believing your crappy thoughts. What emotions, so therefore your experience of life, are your thoughts creating? Also, you know, with this air, it's like, what are you what was the other thing about this coming up that wanted to come through? Let me just tap in here. Okay, it's wanting you to come from your intuition. Like, are you coming from your intuition, or are you coming from your mind? Sacred flow of yes, all about allowing the divine to work in your life and co-creating and being in this natural flow and moving towards the things that light you up. That what is your yes? Are you doing things you don't want to do? Why are you doing that? Why are you still twisting yourself into a pretzel? Or why are you still saying yes to things you don't actually want to do? Or why are you doing things for other people so they'll like you, or so you can keep the identity? This is an Aries full moon. What's your identity? Your identity of good mom, or your identity of excellent sister, or good partner, or what, you know, great entrepreneur, or whatever it is. Are you doing things just to keep up an identity? And all of that is not actually your wild yes. And it's not in the flow of this co-creation of coming from your intuition, coming from this beautiful place, creator earth, to manifest, to make things tangible in the reality that you are thinking about, all the downloads and all the ideas. You get an idea more than 3 times, it's part of your future. Get on it, do it. Like, why are you holding back? Is there all of these little annoying, pestering things that I've added up on you, and you need to take a day and be like, okay, I need to run all of these errands, do all of these things that are from like 2019, like I need to get these things done and organize this stuff, and not have these million, like death by a million paper cuts. And so it's taking energy from you. We put off things so much that give us anxiety or fear, and they actually just they take up so much space in our consciousness and our psyche. They take up so much of our energy physiologically, literally our physiological, physical energy to act and to be cognizant takes up energy. So make sure that you are giving yourself the room and the space and being a fully resourced woman to take this action in the world. Sending you so much love, Gemini. I have the Pick Your Price astrology reading going for a very short, limited couple weeks here, and then it's over. So if you've been wanting to book an astrology reading and money's been an issue, then make sure you get in on this Pick Your Price astrology reading while it's here. You can go to empoweredwomenrise.com to do that. I'm sending you so much love, Gemini, and I'll see you next reading. Cancer, let's do this. So this full moon for you is happening in your 10th. It's all about taking up space in the world, being in the public eye. What other people think doesn't mean caring about what other people think, even though that's how this could show up. But it means like what other people think is in, public opinion, that there is that dynamic that we do live within. But you don't want that to be swaying what you choose to do and choose not to do, or how you show up, etc. Right? And this is all about your sacred calling. This is about your purpose and what you're here to do, the light that you're meant to bring. What's the change that you're meant to bring to this world, to uplift humanity and to help humanity evolve out of this old paradigm. This full moon is illuminating what are the identities that you're ready to shed. What are the identities that you need to take on to implement your purpose at the next upgrade, at the next level, and realize that the edge of evolution is messy, that it doesn't always feel good, even though you are upgrading. And so this illuminating identities. Do you need to step into the identity of creator, or the identity of powerful entrepreneur, or the identity of powerful woman, or what is it that what identities do you need to take on? This is also about your autonomy and sovereignty. Are you standing in your sovereignty within your circles? So within relationships, this is opposite the Mars and Libra South Node and the Sun, and this house full, jam-packed with all this Libra energy, of this shadow Libra energy. So this is the 4th house of being able to have that inner emotional security and inner security that doesn't come from externals. In other words, what other people think. In other words, like how much food is in the pantry, or whether you have money in the bank, or whether you have a home or not, but it actually comes from within you, true inner and emotional security that allows you to be autonomous and to be something in this world. So really powerful Venus and Juno conjunct in your 2nd house of self-reliance and valuing yourself at the highest levels in this sign of Leo, about the feminine light, about your ability to take your will to create what you want to create in this world. This is so important. This long-running T-square to Pluto here in your 7th house of relationships. Much is shifting and changing there if you choose to heal the wounds, the triggers, the self-doubt, the fears, and go into that deeply and do that. Or if you're on the journey somewhere and you're in it and all the triggers and the things are happening and coming up, you can only go as fast as you can go. So give yourself a break and know that you're doing, as long as you're doing it, then sometimes I know I wish I could go faster. Sometimes I wish I was already in a place, you know, that I wanted to be. Or sometimes it's like, my God, how much you have to do to affect this specific thing in the external world, even though I'm so glad I'm doing all this internal work. But like, how much is there before I finally get these changes in the external that this is related to? And, you know, it could take a year, it could take a long time sometimes, but don't stop and really celebrate your wins, celebrate you doing the inner work. So important. Big reading for you, Cancer. You got creator air. So this is coming up really big. Everyone has got this air issue and this full moon so far. Get out of the thoughts, come from the intuition. Are you using the thoughts in a good way? Are you thinking on purpose to create the emotional state that you want to create? Because thoughts create emotions. Thoughts create emotions. And are you differentiating the difference between thoughts and triggers, stimulus, other people's opinions, you know, subconscious beliefs, patterns, you know, circumstances, situations, what other people say and do? Are you separating the facts and all your thoughts about those facts? Really important to separate those two. It'll give you so much empowerment. It'll give you so much more room to take action and to do something different. What else is this creator air thought about? Creator alchemy came up. So, and so much about your ability to create your destiny, to create your accomplishments, to create your upgrades, to create the inner change, to get out of victimhood and disempowerment. And saying that you're really in that disempowerment, and in the thoughts, but you are not actually in the empowerment, the disempowerment. You are actually not disempowered. It's reminding you to get busy getting on it and create it. You can create it. You can do it. Make something beautiful. Believe in yourself. Shut the doubts down and know that you absolutely are 1,000,000% capable. You got this. You absolutely are. So don't let that disempowered thinking bring you down. And you got external validation. Doesn't matter what other people say or do or think or how they're going to respond. That doesn't matter. What matters is you coming from your own heart, you coming from your own soul, you knowing what's right for you. Doesn't matter what other people say. And I go into this deeply in the first part. I really recommend you'll understand your astrology reading better if you go into if you watch the first part of this, you'll understand it so much better. And it doesn't matter what other people say or do. It only matters what's right for you. And this is not talking about being egoic or anything like that. So don't misinterpret what I'm saying. When you're coming from heart and soul, that's right for the higher good. So that's right for everyone, even if it doesn't look like it, because people need boundaries if they're ever going to be pushed to change. If you're enabling their dysfunction, then they're going to remain there. And so it might be hard to say your courageous no to somebody, but when you do, then they'll have to actually grow or get mad and stomp off, whatever, but you will be growing 100%. So, all right, Cancer, sending you so much love. If you'd like to book a pick your price astrology reading, you can do that. We've got like 2 more weeks left on it and then closing this down. It's been going on all summer. So this is, if you've been, not booking an astrology reading because of money, this is your last opportunity to pick your price and to get in on getting astrology reading at a much lower price than my normal. So sending you so much love. You can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com. Sending you lots of love, Cancer. All right, Leo, this full moon for you is in the 9th house. All about expertise, all about understanding your place in the larger cosmos and understanding the world from these big, broad, grand views of it, and understandings, a deeper understandings, going deeply into things. This is about standing up in your expertise and understanding yourself as having some knowledge to bring to the world that's powerful and important, not thinking that it's the truth, but knowing that it's a truth and that it's important, and conceptually expanding as you grow and grow and grow, and never just like staying in the static stuck belief of things, but always being in this constant like growing your hypotheses and theories and concepts for things as you keep growing and learning more and learning new and bringing in new information. This is about deeply being intuitively knowing and understanding the world rather than the empirical facts and data, opposite this Libra sun in the third house, you know, of your mind, your mindset, how you think about things, how you perceive, like categorizing the world and relating to the world, this Libra in that third house. And so we're cutting away Mars with the South Node there from the old patterns of the past that no longer serve you in the way that you're thinking and the way that you've been doing things. And it's just like really healing the Libra shadow issues. Again, Leo, if I've been saying this on the last few readings, that if you are not watching part 1 of the channel astrology, I really encourage you to do that, because your astrology reading will actually make sense to you at a deeper level if you watch that first half. I'm not going to go into every little detail on every sun sign. Again, this is more personalized. So this, you know, Aries is about what identity are you taking on, and are you standing in your autonomy? Are you standing in a powerful leader in the world, but one that understands there are many roads to truth, and people have to go their own journey and do it their own way. You got this Juno and Venus conjunct exactly in your first house, in your sign, all about this creative self-actualization, making your dreams a reality, and how you relate. It's about relationships. It's about money. It's about our relationship to money, our relationship to our deep inner desires, and making them real in the world. How is that going for you? What do you need to heal? What do you need to stop, start, and keep doing to make that a reality? All right, Leo, let's pull you some cards. You got sacred mirrors and a protection message, all about understanding that the things that you're dealing with that are challenges, or other people that are coming at you, see the mirror in the situations. Where is humility needed? Where is growth needed? Where do you need to cut out situations and people and relationships that aren't feeding your light, feeding your joy? Who has access to you that shouldn't? Follow through. What are the projects and the upgrades and the things that you know that are right for you, or the people you said that you would move on from, relationships you said you would start, ones you said you would end, things that you are ready to do that you know you need to do. Where's the follow through? It's wanting you to do that. It's pushing you to do that, and it's supporting you in that. It's letting you know you have support for this. But that's the answer right now. If you are kind of confused about what do I need to do, just follow through with the things you've already been doing that are really important projects. Unstuck the stick. There's something here about being stagnant, not seeing in yourself as the problem. You're the one that can change this and make this shift. It's not going to be something external from you. You're going to have to follow through on the projects and things that you know you're here to do and that you've been working on, and stay with it. It's going to complete, and you're going to have a culmination and accomplishment if you continue on and unstick. Like, get some energy work. Make sure you're clearing out your energetic field. Make sure you're getting the support that you need. Are you a fully resourced woman? Are you playing? Are you loving? Are you having laughter and fun? It's so important to make sure to realize that. Also, this, if you are running a narrative about being stuck, that is not true. So go within and really get real about what's needed to move forward. You are not stuck. Stuck is an illusion. There's always a solution. And this is exactly what I help women with. So change maker, make waves. It's also a protection message. So there's something here about you not actually going to do something involved in your purpose and your work and so forth. Maybe it's actually beginning, or maybe you're down the road in your business and it's the next level of visibility, next level of speaking your voice, next level of getting on stage literally, or new project. Follow through with it. You know what to do. Quit letting yourself be in this place of stagnation. Get all the things done, move things out of the way so that there's space to just be with this and to feel the emotions and the issues that are coming up that are blocking it. All right, Leo, sending you so much love. If you'd like to book a pick your price astrology reading with me, this is the last couple weeks I'm running the sale. I've been running it all summer. Do not want women to be disconnected from their astrology due to money. So this is the last 2 weeks that you'll be able to get a pick your price astrology reading, and then my price will be at my normal price. You can book that at empoweredwomenrise.com. Talk to you next time, Leo. All right, Virgo. Full moon for you In your 8th house, all about transmuting limitations. So what is going on for you? What are the old patterns and the old ways of being in relationships or in your own identities and sovereignty and autonomy that need to move beyond, that you're ready to up level into the next level of a sovereign, powerful, capable, strong, confident self? So wherever that is, definitely move towards that. That's what this is about. It's also about, sex. It's about the spiritual, your spirituality, the subconscious patterns and all of those issues. It's all coming up. I mean, we have North Node, Chiron, and Aries here. Also, this is, opposite the 2nd house of self-reliance and self-sufficiency. So where have you been feeling insufficient, lack, disempowered, where you've been feeling insecure, etc., understanding that will allow you to know what needs to be healed, what is arising to heal. This Mars is cutting away from the old dynamics of insufficiency, of not feeling enough, not good enough, and money insufficiency, etc. This lack mentality, scarcity, or literal numbers in the bank. And it's cutting away from these old patterns, coming away from all the old shadow Libra and the thinking. This is Libra. So this is the thinking around your value, self-love, the value you bring in the world. This is so important to understand. The value you bring in the world, this is cutting away from the old patterns of how you thought about that, how you narrated that, so you can bring in new, healthier dynamics. Really beautiful, Virgo. Venus and Juno conjunct exact in your 12th house, bringing up shadow stuff around, making things a reality, making your destiny truth, making it real, making it come true, and accomplishing what you want to accomplish, like creatively actualizing out of survival and into creativity, alchemy, making art of your life. All the subconscious shit around relationships, money, how you relate to your ability to create and to own your value in this life, all coming up for you. This long running T-squared at Pluto and your 5th, about where you're standing on a stage in your life and bringing your gifts to the world. Are you doing that? And what do you need to evolve to do that? This is Pluto. It's all about destruction and transmutation and evolution. How are you evolving in this area? This is big reading for you. As I've been saying the last few weeks, if you go back and make sure you watch part 1, you'll understand your astrology reading, your personal astrology reading for your sun and your rising all the more deeper, because I don't repeat things from that first section in the individual sun signs. All right, Virgo, magic happens when you most expect it. So what are your expectations? Where are they at? What's happening with that? Are you expecting the other shoe to drop? Are you expecting the bad? Have you leveled up and it's hard to deal with this new place where it's like, I'm not used to having money. I'm not used to having things go well. I'm not used to having a partner in my life that loves me and cares about me. I'm not used to having people that actually don't abuse me around me. Like, wow, what do I do with this? I have to it's awkward. It's clunky. I have to get used to this. I have to receive it in. Are you receiving it? Energy work is so useful and so helpful and powerful for this. Can you start adjusting your expectations, adjusting the inside? Remember, this is the Libra South Nodes, air, adjusting, expecting the good, expecting things to go well, expecting the other shoe to stay up wherever it came from. I don't know what that analogy is all about. What does your soul say? Really getting clear on coming from soul, not the mind, not the shitty subconscious beliefs that you haven't deprogrammed yet. And this is what I help women do. What is your soul? Are you letting your higher self drive the bus of you? So important, especially with that Virgo. Virgo is very analytical, it overanalyzes. And if you have Virgo Pluto on top of wherever you have your other placements, you have a lot of Virgo. Also, if you have a Virgo moon or Virgo South Node, a lot of Virgo. Those placements are have higher points than the other placements. And it means that there's a lot of judging, self-criticism, a lot of guilt because of doing what you really want to do and what's right for you. If it's going against what other people say or society, etc. the old consensus status quo, the good kind, realizing that coming from your heart is so important. And what I mean by that is not being a good girl or anything like that. What I mean by that is coming from your soul, coming from your heart, like realizing what the good kind can do in this world, that we are making a massive, huge difference. The ripple, the morphogenic field changing, the shift and alter in consciousness all across the planet and the energy itself. Huge, huge change happens when we bring our light and do our big purpose. And this is so needed in the world. Just realize that the avatars that vibrate at really high levels, only so many in the world at any given time, they are anchoring and holding the light in the world and keeping the world stabilized for like probably 75% of the rest of the population. So much happens just from a small group of people. All right, and you got inflow with money. There is abundance. Get in that abundance mentality and get out of the scarcity. All right, Virgo, sending you lots of love. If you'd like to book a pick your price astrology reading, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com. I only have the pick your price sale going on for like 2 more weeks, and then that's going to be coming to a close. I've been running that all summer. So if you've been wanting to get your astrology reading and money's been an issue, then make sure you get in on this pick your price deal that's only happening for 2 more weeks. All right, y'all, sending you love, Virgos. See you on the next reading. All right, Libra, South Node. The full moon for you is in your 7th house. And it's your correlated house, all about relationships and relating and justice and fairness and completion. So are you having some completion of this full moon? Things are illuminated that are completing old past patterns of old identities, possibly an old life, an old version of you could really be completing right now, since this is opposite the 1st house. And this is all about sovereignty, standing in your power, really being clear who you are, and being assertive in relationships, being confident in relationships, and being very clear about who you are, autonomous within relationships, interrelated rather than codependent, interdependent rather than codependent, and 2 sovereign, autonomous beings meeting in a partnership or relationship of some kind, and letting that be what it wants to be. You know, all of this Mars and South Node in your 1st house, it's really speaking to cutting away from old parts of your identity and your personality that just no longer serve you, that aren't part of who you are anymore, that you've healed and moved on from. It's really giving you this opportunity to do that. Mars cuts away. And also, this is so much about letting the new identities and versions of you act in the world and move into the world. Venus and Juno here in your 11th, all about the this Leo energy of creating your destiny, making your dreams come true through friendships, collaborations, groups, building a community, a movement, and your audience and your business. Long running T-square with Pluto in the 4th house, all about inner security and emotional security. Are you building that from the inside out, or are you relying on externals like money, people, or houses, etc., to give you that sense of inner security? Really important, because all of humanity is tasked with that right now. That square from Venus to Uranus in your 8th, sex, death, taxes, and also just transmuting your limitations and moving beyond them. So very powerful. Saturn can be sad in the day-to-day life, can have a little sadness in there and a little challenges and kind of wistfulness, longing, and also just meaninglessness can come up, existentialism. So just know that that's a temporary thing going on with Saturn there in that 6th house of your day-to-day life and your lifestyle right now. All right, Libra, let's move into your card reading, and know that if you watch part 1, your astrology reading and card reading will be all the more deeper, because I don't repeat the channeled astrology reading from part 1. Changes you got, so much is changing and shifting internally. You may be being able to see this in the external world, but this could be very deeply internal, that what could be happening for you right now. This is a yang nodal axis though, so realize that you're probably seeing changes in your external world reflected from the internal work you've been doing, and also that things have finally shifted. Stuff's finally moving. Things are finally happening that were like stagnated or stuck for months and months, 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 months. You're finally getting movement on it, Libra. Yay. Yes, big deal. Limitations inspire innovations. So how are you looking at it? Are you looking at innovations, at possibilities, at potentialities, or are you focused on limitations and being stuck and things being stagnant? Also, can you just let yourself be inspired? How can you be inspired or laugh more? How can you do things to be okay with what is as you're dealing with anything that is taking the time that it takes to change and to move forward? How can you bring in laughter and more joy, more inspiration, more feeding your light, feeding your joy? Fall in love with your story, which is so much about how we narrate our life and challenges, and understanding everything we go through is progressive learning for our soul. It's evolution in action. It's literally working to evolve in this lifetime so we don't have to repeat the same patterns in other lifetimes. Really feeling your emotions. What is the story you're telling yourself about something? Is when you tell yourself that story, Libra, is it creating emotions that you want to feel? So try on that story like a hat or like a t-shirt, and how does it make you feel? That's how you know if that story is bogus or not, because stories can sound really good and lovely and all like they should make you feel good, and they don't actually. So you actually want to try it on and feel how it makes you feel in your body. Last card for you is Creator Fire. This is all about that enthusiasm, that passion, that inspiration. So again, bringing it back to laughter, bringing in some inspiration, laughter, some whatever is going to light you up and bring in energy. This is speaking to energy as well, and the ability, the thing about a lack of fire is that we don't have an optimism towards life. We don't have the life force energy to believe and to act upon beliefs and inspiration. So it's wanting you to feed that and find out where you can get that from. So do you need to listen to better stuff? What do you need to stop, keep doing, start? What do you need to stop doing, start doing, and keep doing to bring in that enthusiasm and that passion and that life force energy? So I hope that helps you, Libra. If you'd like to book an astrology reading, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com. I have your pick your price astrology reading going for only 2 more weeks left, and then the sale is coming to a close. Been doing this all summer because I don't want women to be separated from their astrology, the power of their astrology just due to money. So doing this for 2 more weeks. So if you've been wanting to book an astrology reading, this is your chance. I would get in on this while you can. Sending you so much love. You can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com. Scorpio, full moon for you happening in your 6th house, all about lifestyle, day-to-day life, being a mentor, being a guide to others, and all about your health, healing, making things tangible and real in reality, integrating into the reality. It's so important to understand the guilt and atonement that can come to the 6th house, and like cleaning up all the guilt inside. Like, are you pattern interrupting guilt? And this is so important because this will make you behave in relationships in ways that you don't want to when you feel guilty underneath, or it's subconscious or subliminal. So it's really important to start catching when you feel guilty and pattern interrupting that, so you can change that. This is what I help women with. I love helping women transform this bullshit and get over this stuff. This full moon, it's about our identity. It's about who we are. So who are you in your day-to-day world and your reality, the tangible reality? What is the lifestyle that you're choosing for yourself? Do you have life force energy that's enthusiastic, optimistic, believes in what you can create, and you're creating it in your day-to-day world, your day-to-day schedule, 6 houses, schedules and organization, and having everything like really solid and feeling good. Are you organizing things and making sure that you have all of the annoying little tasky things and things that you've had on your list from like 4 years ago, and just take a day or 2 or a weekend and just get it all done, so you can feel this sense of renewed energy flooding back into your world, because all these things aren't taking up space in your consciousness anymore. Really important. All these things have been illuminated for you over the last 2 weeks. You're seeing it. This is about your autonomy and your lifestyle, not being disempowered and blaming everybody else because you're not living the life you really want to live. You know, I met this new friend recently, and she's a lovely human, but very much stuck in this, you know, fake false reality, and like complaining about her life and like, oh, the week's always boring. She's doing a job she hates and doesn't want to do it, even though she like will tell you like she likes things about it. Like, you know, it's like, dude, like, why stop doing this? You know, like, stop it, like, go create the life you want. What are you doing? But she just like accepts that this is what you do in life. You just work a job you hate, and that's it. Like, I don't get it. I could never do that. But I mean, this is why I work with entrepreneurs, you know. But just hearing her dialogue in her head is very much like, oh, the week's boring as usual. I would never let my life be boring. My life's not fucking boring. Are you kidding me? No way. So why, you know, this is Aries, being assertive, being direct, being clear, knowing what you want and going for it and believing in it, believing that you can create it. This Mars and South Node is in the 12th house. Not 12th house, yes, 12th house, cutting away from old past life karmic momentum, cutting away from things that are ready to heal and resolve old patterns and dynamics, especially around relationship and valuing yourself in a relationship, being an autonomous person within relationships, etc. So everywhere where that's not happening, this is like a big chance to really do something different. And this is all about psychic and the psychic energetic realms of what's going on there. You know, it is huge to really become strong sense of empowerment in the psychic energetic realms, because people can be very abusive energetically with their energy, just throwing their energy around and constantly jabbing it into yours, and you know, not even consciously understanding that Venus and Juno and Leo conjunct here in your 10th, all about your powerful purpose in this life, your mission, what you're here to, you know, this impact that you're here to have in the world. And this Leo energy, all about relationships and how you relate to your purpose and your desires and your value that you create in the world, but then also that you feel, do you feel that you're valuable? Do you know about how you relate to that? And this is all about relationships. So all your business relationships, all your client relationships, what's the end-to-end user experience? Are clients having a great user experience end-to-end when they are in your ecosphere of your business? Are clients are how, you know, are you partnering with people where you can move your business forward, you can be out in the world more? Are, you know, all of these things are up for you with the square to Uranus here in the 7th, again about making and building partnerships and collaborations with people, Lilith in the 11th, that are going to move your purpose forward, move your visibility into an increased state, get your work out in the world so you can shine your big light and change the world in the way that you're here to change it. This long running T-square with Pluto in your 3rd house about your perspective. So you're evolving the way you think, your perspectives and all of that right now. And you must do that to have growth and to get the things you want. That is one of your keys at the moment. All right, change maker, make waves. You know, that 10th house with Venus there, very much about taking your will to create your destiny, in that 10th house of taking up space in this world and where you fit into the larger role of society and the new paradigm and the new world. It's in a protection message. So get some past life energetic help. Make sure you're doing the work to heal anything that's standing in the way there. Could definitely be energy work. It's making waves. You know, what are the fears and self-doubt standing in the way of being the change maker you're here to be, of stepping into higher visibility, of being seen and heard as a woman? What fears are coming up? You got nourish the sacred feminine, and it's in a protection message also. And very much about being a fully resourced woman, really listening inward, gathering inward, really hearing what you need to fully be able to show up. Last card for you, Scorpio, is choose who you're becoming, another protection card. So 3 protection cards really wanting you to get some energy work. You got to clear out all the stagnant energies, entities, etc. What's going on. Make sure you're doing that regularly for yourself anyways. If you don't know, learn those skills, but get some Reiki work with somebody that that does Reiki. It's I don't typically have that booking available on my website, but I do Reiki. I do it in a very different way than most Reiki practitioners. I don't balance your chakras. That's just something that naturally happens, but I use it to clear all the blocks and the stagnations and things that are standing in your way, that are in the energetic psychic realm. We have to work on all 4 realms to heal and to make our big, wild, audacious dreams come true. So choose who you're becoming is really about this choice of like, are you going to choose the past or the future? Are you going to choose comfort, or are you going to choose evolution? Are you going to choose what feels like security and safety, even though it's not really? It's just actually doing the same old patterns and what's familiar to your soul. Or are you going to choose to step into your wild, adventurous life? And Scorpio can be a little avoidant and scared, and it's okay. But Scorpio is about transmuting limitations. So what do you need to become so that you can transmute your limitations? So it's really important to understand, like, another way to understand that is like, say you want to learn how to make gelato. Well, you're going to have to go get with somebody who makes a gelato, go work in a gelato shop, like become the gelato to really learn the skill. If you're going to go make a business to be a gelato maker, you're going to have to like know it inside and out and be like, become that gelato, right? And so like transforming your limitations of not knowing how to make gelato and not knowing anything about that world to now knowing something about that world and like becoming it. It's Scorpio, like I become it, I get into the skin of the thing itself, right? And then transmute those limitations into gifts. Like it's just so powerful. So sending you so much love, Scorpio. If you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com. I have 2 weeks left on my pick your price reading sale. So I didn't want women to be disconnected from the power of their astrology due to money. So I've been running this sale all summer long. The sale is going away in 2 weeks. You get 2 more weeks left. So I'd really encourage you to book that pick your price astrology reading today if you've been wanting one. That's at empoweredwomenrise.com. Lots of love to you, Scorpio. All right, let's do it, Sagittarius. So if you watch part 1 of the channeled astrology reading, this reading will make so much sense, more sense to you and be much deeper. So I encourage you to do that. This full moon for you is happening in your 5th house, all about making your destiny a reality, taking your will to be this creator alchemist and making it true, making your accomplishments happen. This is about self-actualization. This isn't about surviving and working for money. And this is about creative self-actualization. Like, what is my purpose? What is my destiny? What amazingness is inside of me that I must bring to the world and bring my gifts to the world? Of course, it must be hooked up to something greater for humanity. Otherwise, you will be thwarted, my friend. And so this is this Aries full moon for 2 weeks. All of this stuff, types of archetypes, all the stuff in this realm has been being illuminated to you. This could also be kids and romance. Just realize that, 5th house. And so what has been shown to you? What identities, Aries, are you needing to shed, and what ones are you needing to take on? Like the identity of creator, or the identity of feminine, powerful entrepreneur, whatever it is. Can you step into creator or podcaster or author or whatever the identity is, healer, that you're needing to step into? Can you become that? Also, Aries, about your autonomy, your sovereignty. Are you a sovereign, autonomous human in the world, confident, self-possessed, assertive, clear, owning your no? And yes, this is a courageous no. Opposite the sun and Libra in the 11th house, all about humanity and humanity's evolution, all about your audience, friendships, impersonal relationships, collaborations, building community, building a movement in your business. Mars here conjunct the South Node in Libra, that thinking air cardinal South Node, cutting away from patterns and dynamics and thinking, that Libra air sign that no longer serve you, that are like holding you back from standing in your autonomy, standing in your powerful identities of creator or author or singer or whatever it is for you, and making your dreams a reality, taking the next step and then the next step and then the next step. You only need to do one step at a time. You don't need to know the whole puzzle because it will inevitably change anyways. And what do you need to do here? Venus and Juno in your ninth house of, exploration, big metaphysical concepts. How do you fit into the larger whole? And relationships, does your relationships rise up to meet you? Do they like to talk about the bigger concepts and dynamics, a galactic citizen and a universal citizen instead of just a citizen of wherever town, USA, or wherever town, the UK or Australia or wherever it is. So, it's like your relationships, it may be adventure and travel and just expansion, either mentally or physically, actually going out and squaring that Uranus and the sixth, all about shaking up your day-to-day, shaking up the old patterns, individuating from the old consensus status quo ways about how you're supposed to live, how you're supposed to do things, how you're supposed to be perfect and organized, shedding the guilt there. And bringing in some new values, a new lifestyle based on valuing yourself at the highest levels. Pluto in this long-running T-square in your second house of self-reliance, of valuing yourself at the highest level, and therefore creating amazing value in the world that you then make prosperity on. Let's do this. So let's pull you some cards, Sag. You got Creator Earth, all about making things a reality, making things pop out to the reality, like the Montauk Project, or manifesting and making things real, taking action. But it can also be dry Earth, if it doesn't have the other elements. It can also be too concerned with the day-to-day mundane world. And so where are you at with this Earth? It is upright, and so it's just wanting you to realize that the tangible and stay focused and determined on what you actually can create, and that you can create that. You got Creator Alchemy, Sag. And so yes, this is this reading for you, wanting you to be real and understand how capable you are, and you get to create your reality. Stop thinking you can't. You got to get out of that crappy thinking that you can't create your reality. Get out of that pessimism and move over into positive belief. This Aries full moon. Aries is positive. It's the unicorn of the zodiac. It believes it can. It helps the underdog, and it keeps moving. It's fiery, happy, passionate energy. Accept and receive. You got to open up that heart chakra to receive the love, to receive the compliments, not just, oh, thank you, but taking it in and feeling it, and really owning. I'm helping the world. I'm making a change. I'm transforming people's lives. I'm helping people change their lives. What is it that is your gift that you're doing in the world, and receiving the value that you yourself are creating, and coming from this different orientation of it from within yourself, and also receiving the love and the good in the world. It's definitely heart chakra stuff. I recommend energy work. Really, every woman needs to work on receiving and accepting. We do too much for other people. All right, I'm sending you so much love, Sag. You got this. And if you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com. I am running the Pick Your Price astrology reading only for 2 more weeks. I've been doing this all summer long because I did not want women to be separated from the power of their astrology due to money. So for 2 weeks left, you can book a Pick Your Price astrology reading at empoweredwomenrise.com. Sending you love. Talk to you next time, Sag. All right, let's do this. Capricorn, full moon, queued up here. Friday happening in your 4th house. 4th house, it's all about inner security and emotional security. It's self-image. It's how do you have a self-image? Your self-image will constantly, right? Constantly like, oh my God, people are doing this, people are doing that. Triggered, buttons being pushed all the time when you're not have inner security or emotional security at the highest levels. We are going to be upgrading this for the rest of our lives, but we can have such a solid foundation. You don't get triggered anymore. You don't get your buttons pushed anymore. You're just like, yep, whatever. People are doing dumbass shit. Yep. Like you just look at other people like zoo animals. You're just like, yeah, okay, another fucktard, whatever. But it's like you don't have to be triggered yourself when you do that inner work. So this full moon for 2 weeks has been illuminating, where either you need to do the inner work, where so much inner work you've done is now integrating and flushing out, and you're standing in a new sense, a new version of yourself, a new assertiveness, a new confidence, a new integration of all the healing work you've done. This could be many things depending on the person here, but it's like, hey, you know, this is my new identity, Aries. This is my new version of myself, my new sense of autonomy and power and meanness. And this could be really incredibly powerful, or this is really illuminated to you where you need to do the inner work to develop inner security and emotional security based upon internal, not on the externals of having enough money or having certain relationships or having somebody approve of you, or public opinion, etc. Capricorn can be really concerned about public opinion, and it can also choose not to feel. It's opposite Cancer emotions. So, you know, you can be really have calcified emotions. You got to feel your emotions to evolve and to grow. You can't bypass that. That's bypassing. So it's opposite this Libra sun in your 10th house. So Libra seasons take place in your 10th house. The South Node is there. So, you know, a lot for you is churning up in the 10th house, all about your, you know, taking up space in the world, all about your purpose. You're bringing your gifts to the world, leaving a legacy. You have Mars here wanting to cut away old patterns of how you seen yourself, of how you are waiting for other people's approval, how you're swimming in like a big fish in small ponds. You know, go be a small fish in big ponds so that you can grow and evolve as a human. Stop being scared to get out there and grow in visibility. Big things for you, Venus and Juno in your 8th, all about transmuting some limitations in relationships that you're playing small, keeping stuck, or you're really having a lot of relationships blooming in sexuality, power within your sexuality, and really attracting people that are the people you really desire, that Leo energy that allow you to be their confident, amazing self, helping you self-actualize. Could be either Pluto making that long-running T-square in your first house of identity, and moving in back into your second house in January. So really shoring up this last of the 15-year cycle of Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn since 2008, Caps in your first house of, you know, who I am, personality, identity, what version of myself. It's the ego. It's how you deal with threat. You know, Capricorn deals with threat by hunkering down and getting busy working and pushing the emotions aside to just keep climbing that mountain. It can be very, also it can get very offended if it thinks that somebody doesn't respect it, you know, or doesn't like bow down to its knowledge, you know. So that's can be a little bit of that shadow Capricorn. So definitely you've had so much massive roto-rooting here and evolution and showing all of the stuff that just doesn't serve you of Pluto in the first, and so it's evolution here of the personality. All right, Cap, let's pull you some cards. Powerful full moon, all about grabbing your autonomy. Creator Earth, this keeps coming up for people. So obviously you're an Earth sign, and that Capricorn's an Earth sign, but Creator Earth's all about making things tangible in reality, popping things out in the reality, making it real, manifesting at the highest levels, being prosperous. This is also about being, you know, determined and focused on the day-to-day activities and your day-to-day world around you in the 5 sensory world. Very much focused on that, you know, directed towards your goals and your accomplishments. You are magic. Make sure that you're coming and doing all of that stuff I just said from the place of believing in yourself, unwavering belief in yourself, believing that you're magic, but that magic is about your higher self soul being in the driver's seat, co-creating with the divine, co-creating with the universe, with your guides, letting all the helpers help you, and working with spirit to create your destiny, to make your big impact in this world, bring your light forward. What else wants to come through for you, Kat? Okay, this card wants to come out. Bliss is worth creating from. I'm really sensing some of that pessimism is in there, and it's a little bit too heavy of the earth, especially if you have a lot of Capricorn placement. You can be a little bit pessimistic. There's not enough fire to really be in that optimism and that belief in the future, and it can just be dry a little bit without enough water, etc. And so it's like, you know, are you coming from this belief and joy and happiness and getting enough? Like, look at all the colors, you know, are you getting enough of being fully resourced? happy, jokes, humor, love, good vibes around you, higher frequency stuff around you? Are you doing enough activities that are fun, getting out in the world? Or are you staying and coloring in between these lines and staying in these certain lanes of life? It's so boring. Get out of the pessimism, remembering your magic and you're co-creating with the world, and then do that manifesting from there. Also, your last card is befriend the word polarization in a protection message, saying that we need to remember that the light is a little bit hidden underneath the surface. So you might feel like you're just seeing all the depravity and the darkness of the world more so. It's not true. Also, we need to integrate that. We don't want to be eyes closed to it all, but you want to get into the high frequencies. You want to put yourself around happy people and loving people. You want to put more love in. I was realizing that just my natural journey and evolution, what it is, that there's just like so many people attacking and negative and narcs and all these fucks around everywhere. It's like, oh my God, the scale is so tipped. Like I need to tip the scale up really high of all the people who are giving me loving energy and coming at me with kindness and joy and love and spark and all of that. And so I'm like actively making sure to seek high frequency stuff, whether it's a podcast, TV, a person, an environment, etc. And don't be fooled by a high vibration environment thinking that is actually going to be every person there is high frequency. Not true. It's not how it works. There are narcissists and psychopaths and sociopaths everywhere, but if you're going to a high frequency place, you're likely to find a lot of people you can vibe with that are high frequency. So just remember that my rabbit is just like staring at me right now. I'm not sure what he's wanting, but he wants something. Wants more hay. So anyways, it was just really funny. He's just like, but anyway, so realize that befriend the word polarization is that like, it sounds like you're having the pessimism because there's some energy work needed to clear out some heavy energies that you've been integrating, and bringing in the disparate truths of dark and light, or resolving halves of the whole. So get some energy work, Cap. Sending you so much love. If you'd like to book a pick your price astrology reading, I'm only running that sale for 2 more weeks. Don't want women to be separated from the power of their astrology just because of money. So I've been running that all summer long. I'm only running the pick your price deal on astrology readings for 2 more weeks. So get in on this while you can. It's at empoweredwomenrise.com. Lots of love, Cap. You got this. Come out of that pessimism. All right. Aquarius, not going to forget you. You've got this Aries full moon in your 3rd house of mindset, how you think, perspectives, your local environment. So are you building community locally in your town? For example, I'm a location independent, worldwide entrepreneur, but in my local place, wherever I'm at that time, I still go build community in my local areas, maybe do some workshops in those local areas, etc. And so this is very much about that. So checking that out. This is Aries. This is full moon. It's been building up to this for a couple of weeks, showing you everything about your own sovereignty, the identities you've taken on, and it's all about how you narrate who you are. Aries, how you think about assertiveness, being cleared. Are you owning your no, your courageous no, Aries? And it's so much about your autonomy and your sovereignty, Aries. So are you sovereign in your mind, or is your brain just running off with you and you're just believing all these crappy thoughts and you're believing your crappy subconscious beliefs and not doing that inner work? I'm telling you, it will change your life. It will heal things. But you have to do the right inner work. All right. So that Libra sun, it's opposite that Libra sun in your 9th house of expertise, of exploring and expanding big metaphysical concepts, intuitively going about and expanding in life, and being this expert in your business, in your life, and understanding that there's many paths to truth and people need to reach it in their own way. And yet you are still a leader and an expert in your business, in this world, in what you do, and you can bring those truths forward, but always being that evolving story of it all. Mars conjunct the South Node is here, wanting to cut away from old patterns of maybe being the know-it-all, or maybe being like thinking there's only one path to truth, or it looks like this, or everybody's got to believe the way I do, otherwise I feel insecure. Any of those things that was wanting to cut away those old patterns that are not serving you, not helping you. where you're just too empirical, wanting the exact facts of it all. It's not Sag. Sag is this very much the intuitive, exploring and constantly expanding way of consciousness, because it's always getting its ignorance eroded and eradicated because it's constantly exploring, right? So it's that kind of energy. You have Venus and Juno in the 7th house of relationships, that Leo of being confident and creating the destiny that you want, creating the partnerships that you want, creating your relationship to your business or your relationship to anything else, or equality. And it's about your deep desires and valuing yourself at the highest levels. Got the square to Uranus in the 4th of inner security and emotional security. Are you valuing yourself within relationships? There is tension and dynamics here. You're being pushed to do so. Pluto in the 12th house of like old past life stuff around those issues, square to the nodes, this long running square, wanting you to evolve from the old past life dynamics, Aquarius. You got this. You can do this. Be willing to change and grow, do that inner work, because it'll be the best thing you ever did in your life. You'll be more empowered than you ever thought possible. This is exactly the work I do with women. I love helping women get this massive change in their life and being the confident woman they want to be. Welcome the divine masculine. Masculine is the yang, and the feminine is the yin, is the internal. The masculine is the external. We are conflating the masculine in so many ways in this culture. People are conflating it right now, or in the like spiritual zeitgeist, rather, like people are conflating masculine with doing and feminine with being. And it's like, what do you think a mother does? She's always doing, but it's from a internal fire rather than an external drive, if that makes sense. So it's like welcoming the divine masculine, whether that's literally a divine masculine person that carries that energy and embodies that energy, or whether it's really having that protective space, holding masculine energy within yourself and healing that. And that means that you got to heal all those guards up of how your masculine energy is guarded and protecting and protective and defensive and offended, and like got all the walls up and the guards out with the spears ready to like spear anybody that tries to get in. It's like you got to mature and heal and really come with the divine masculine energy instead of that toxic masculine energy that's protective in the wrong ways. Instead of be protective from your intuition that is discerning and reading the energy of people and listening to your intuition when I need to go, when I need to talk to someone, when I need to get them out of my life, etc. Like hearing and listening and navigating the world with your intuition instead, versus from that toxic and masculine energy of just biting first and asking questions later. Your past supports your future. Really, how that Pluto in your 12th house, how do you narrate the past in this life and the terror, subconscious and subliminal that you may be coming up from past lives? How do you narrate it? This is in your 3rd house. Like, how do you narrate it? How do you think about it? Do you narrate it in a way that leaves you feeling empowered, or do you narrate it in a way that leaves you feeling disempowered, like somebody got over on you, somebody did something to you? That could be a phase of your healing. That's okay to be in a phase, but don't stay there. Don't let your narrative of situations stay there. And I'll tell you, when you heal completely, it doesn't matter what anybody did. It's just different. It doesn't mean like you're okay with it, or that you think like I'm not one of those people where it's like, oh, I'm thankful to this perpetrator because da 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 da. I'm sorry. I think that's warped. I think that is warped. I think that's the best people had at the time, but I think it's warped. It's a warped reaction to living in this culture that habituates people to abuse. So I do not buy into that bullshit. I think when you heal completely, you're just not triggered anymore. But you don't think like, oh yeah, that perpetration or that abuse was just fine and I'm grateful for it because it changed me in this way. No, you're just like, yeah, this is evolution of going through difficult shit. This is how we evolve, and I alchemize that. So I really encourage you, just like, how are you standing up within yourself around your future? How are you looking to your future? And are you understanding that everything that you've done in your life is evolution for the version of yourself that you want to be in the future? Think of yourself in 5 years, think of yourself in 1 year, and let her speak to you now and give you the lowdown. It's a really powerful exercise to do. I really encourage you to sit down and do some journaling. You are magic. Been shuffling the cards. This card came up. It wants you to know how special you are. It wants you to know that you matter. It wants you to know that your light and your work that you're here to do in this world is important and needs to be there to change the world. So you have to get over your stuff so that someone else can get the transmission that only you can bring, that's going to change their life and transform things for them. Sending you so much love, Aquarius. You got this. And if you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com. I'm only doing the pick your price astrology reading for 2 more weeks. I did that all summer long. It was this big sale I had all summer long. I did not want women to be separated from their power of their astrology due to money. So you got 2 more weeks left to book a pick your price astrology reading, and then that is going away. I'm sending you so much love, Aquarius. You got this. All right, last one. Let's do this. Pisces. Pisces, second house, full moon in Aries. So powerful, Pisces. Oh my gosh. This is this full moon. You've been feeling this for 2 weeks, all about your self-sufficiency, all about sufficiency. So all of your shit around lack, scarcity, feeling insufficient in relationships. You're not good enough in relationships, or you're not doing the right thing, or feeling like you don't have enough money, or feeling insufficient in your way you perform in your business, or how you show up in the world, or what other people think. This has all been churning up and coming up. Also, very much about self-reliance, about valuing yourself and loving yourself at the highest level. It's about the value that you put out into the world. All of that's been coming up and showing itself to you. So are you in this place where you're really stepping into a new version of yourself now, a new autonomous level of sovereignty, a new upgrade of your sovereignty, this full moon of this peak of I've healed, I've integrated, I've done all this work, and now I'm in this stepping into this new version of this autonomous, beautiful self of who I am, this new version of myself. Are you in that place? Or maybe have you seen all the things you need to do to be able to get this shift? It'll be one of 2 things, depending on what's going on for you. And, this is very much about being assertive, being clear, direct, owning your no, speaking your voice. You got to do it. You can't be scared. Of course, you're going to feel fear, but don't let the fear stop you from actually doing it. Got opposite this Libra sun in your 8th house, all about sex, death, taxes, all about transmuting limitations. So what do you need to become with this Libra South node in relationships yourself to completely dissolve the limitations? It's not going to be the other people that are going to rise, going to rise to the occasion. You're going to have to be the one to do it. And it's often the case for us light bringers to be the one, and therefore you will be transmuting the limitation of what's going down that relationship or what you want to shift. Mars here conjunct the South node in that 8th house is cutting away from the old dynamic subconscious patterns from childhood, the old spiritual, psychic and energetic, emotional tyranny patterns, manipulations, betrayal, abuse, etc. Mars is cutting away from these old things, these old dysfunctional places, so that you have a new beginning, a new start. This is powerful. This is big. And this is also about your action in the world and taking action in the world from this new place. This is really big, Pisces. Really, really beautiful too. Venus, big changes. Venus conjunct exact Juno in Leo, all about creative self-actualization, all about taking your will to make your destiny a reality in the 6th house of making things tangible, of creating the lifestyle you actually want to live, not the one everybody else says to live, not the one other people think is cool, not the one that you just grew up being socialized and conditioned to play out, but the one that you actually want. It took me some time to understand this whole lifestyle thing. When I was moving to California from Wisconsin, my cousin was saying, like, you're gonna have to choose what lifestyle you want. And I was kind of like annoyed by it and like offended, like can't you just, be excited and be in the fun of it for me, that I'm just like going on this adventure. I'm just like all about the adventure, right? But anyway, so I got over that, and it kept like being this little bug in my brain, just kind of like poking at me. And I was like, what does he mean? And then I was like, oh, well, in Iowa, man, there isn't lifestyle to be had. Like, what lifestyle can you have in Iowa? There's churches and bars and like hunting, I mean, there's not much lifestyle to have. But in other places of the world, there's surfing and stand-up paddleboarding and biking and cycling of all kinds. And there's, being an ocean long distance swimmer, and you could do marine biology and be a snorkeler. Obviously I'm really talking up the ocean type activities, but there's so much life in some places, in some cities. There's so much consciousness and sound baths and meditations and workshops on this and workshops on that. And you can just have, ecstatic dance and all kinds of events and retreats and workshops and psychedelic retreats, all kinds of things happening constantly, that you can really create a lifestyle where you're doing what you want. Like, I love horseback riding. I love circus arts. I love the work that I do in the world. And these are like these main pillars of my lifestyle. And so thinking about that Pisces, it's like this Venus is like your deep desires, and are the partnerships, Juno, the ones that allow for you to actually create the lifestyle you really want. I'll tell you what, I'm moving soon because the people around me in certain milieus are not allowing me to grow in these areas, and I need partners to grow in that area. And so I'm going to a place where I know that'll change. And I'm excited for finally having one of my passions really be amplified in my life, and to get what I'm wanting to create in my world. So I'm literally moving my whole life to a whole different place, just to make sure that I can create the lifestyle I really want. So this is up for you big. Like, are you cognizant of this, taking this in, understanding it might mean big changes to create what you really want? There's a square here. It's tension, it's action, it's dynamics. It's like taking action, and could be big changes. It's Uranus. It's like breaking away from the past, breaking away from the status quo in your life that has been there, to create, the health, the lifestyle, the happiness, the day-to-day life that you want. Where I live, it's great. It offers me certain things that I have not had other places I've lived, but it doesn't offer me the day-to-day life that I want. And I'm changing that soon because I can't do it anymore. Like, I did it for a little while. I really try to get the benefits of it. Great. Moving on. And you got Pluto in your 11th, all about your relationships, your audience building. It's not going to be here long, and it's moving into that 12th. Yay. Or yay, we don't know yet. I don't think Pluto in any place is necessarily easy, but 11th house is very challenging when it comes to community and friends and stuff like that. Pluto is very challenging. So you've had a very challenging 15 years here, Pisces, of Pluto in the 11th house, of just barely having very few amounts of very close friends, like not really having deep close friendships, because Pluto was really teaching you a lot of evolution and lessons here, and then they're going to be moving into your 12th. So while it's here, it's cleaning out the last dregs of this 11th house until January, and it's got this long running T-square to the nodes. And it's about evolution in your relationships and friendships, who you allow there, about being, bringing your gifts to the world and not being second, being this equality, being in this place where you organize and really bring something beautiful and have deep, powerful connections. So a lot of transformation, evolution there, and bringing up the secrets and the dark, dirty stuff around people. A lot of learning and growing. It's your PhD, so don't worry about it. Know that it's your PhD. It's important, evolution and learning. And you get to bring that learning to the world. You have bliss is worth creating from. So make sure you're getting happy and joy and laughter and happiness in your life. Don't underestimate just how important that is. It is big. You can, like, our indigenous ancestors knew. That's why they did fire dance and sang and chanted and got the community around, because community lifts us up and lifts our frequency. We have to be in high frequency to manifest, to create what we want. What do you really want? X marks the spot. I'll tell you, I've gotten really clear. There's all these millions things. There's lots of things I want, but like when I really get down to it, there's one thing I really want right now, and everything else is serving that one thing right now. And after that, I know what the next thing is and the next thing. So get really clear on what you really want and get all the mental drama. We have a Libra South Node. It's an air sign. It's very air. It examines everything from a distance. It doesn't take action. And it's just like gathers more and more and more data. Like, stop, get out of that mind and take some actions, some little actions, because engaging with the situation, taking actions brings clarity. So really get clear about what it is. Like, I'm getting the sense that there's something here where you think you don't know, but you do. So you're letting yourself be confused. Don't say I don't know thoughts to yourself. I don't know creates confusion. So don't ever say an I don't know thought to yourself. Get clear, write it down, raw intention, let it be messy. You know, this isn't about a nice little neat, tidy thing. It's not like that's really an issue for most Pisces people, but it depends on the rest of your chart. You know, let it be messy. Let it be wild and evolving, an evolving story, and not just be like, you know, when you like, you know, when you color, like some people like make the dark line and then, you know, around the whole shape, and then color in between that and color the same direction, the same way. I mean, just color outside the lines, let it be messy, experiment, play. It's raw intention. It's not this perfectly neat little tidy vision that you have. It is messy. It is kind of all over the place, but allow there to be a structure and a form that holds that mess, so that you can focus to fruition. Last card for you, Pisces, creator alchemy. You can do it. You are capable. You are creating this. You are creating it with spirit. Why do you think you're not? And what is it that you think you can't? And really unpack that, because it's not true. It's just a thought. What is standing in the way? And then what is the solution? Energetic work. Do you need to work with a coach? Do you need to get doing your brain work? Like, you've got to manage your mind. You cannot be a human in this world and level up to the highest levels and make a big impact in the world if you are not managing your mind. I'm telling you this is what I help women with. It will empower you at the highest levels. It will change your life. I'm sending you so much love, Pisces. You got this. If you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com. The Pick Your Price astrology reading is only happening for 2 more weeks, and it's going away. I've been running this, a long running sale all summer. So happy to help women connect to the power of their astrology, even if they didn't have the money. But this sale is going away in 2 weeks. So get in on this while you can. empoweredwomenrise.com. All right, y'all, this is the end of this forecast. I hope you love it. I hope you own your courageous no. I hope this inspired you and encourages you to stand in your power at the next level. Sending you so much love. And if you need anything, go to empoweredwomenrise.com or my TikTok at the Goddess Astrologer for daily empowerment and coaching and astrology. Lots of love to you all. Please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much.